Afternoon, guys. Happy lunch hour. A little late, sorry. It's a nice day out, so I've been doing what I can outside before it gets back down in the 20s here again. So figure, hey, take the chance while I can get it. So here we are. Pardon me for looking a little worked. So came in for lunch and wanted to see what was going on. And I get a kick out of it because all of a sudden it's the science has changed. Amazing. A week after this protest up in Canada starts, a week after there's protests, trucker convoys starting all over the world, the liberal left, who is in charge of a lot of countries, all of a sudden is backing down from their rallying call, follow the science, that they've had for the last 2 years. Why? Because they all see what's happening to Trudeau. Okay? Like I said the other day, Petri dish. Canada is the let's see what happens. And Trudeau is falling flat on his face every time he opens his mouth. I mean, most of you guys are following this, and seeing every time he says something, he gets ripped to shreds. It's like, okay, that one Canadian Marine came out and said, and I was sent to fight for my country, but our leader, when a bunch of trucks show up, runs and hides. Yeah, that's about it. Okay. It's funny, Trudeau saying, oh, the working class and everything. He made a comment about, oh, Canadians are known for helping a pure stranger pulling their car out of the snow. I'm thinking to myself, you'd be afraid of breaking a freaking nail. Okay. You've never done anything like that. I guarantee it. Okay. Your silver spoon and your chauffeur-driven limousine for your entire life. No, you thumbed your nose at everybody. But so what's going on? Now all of a sudden New York is saying, we're going to end the mask mandates. There's talk in Washington about backing down from the the vaccinations on planes and the masks on planes. You're seeing this all over the world. Australia backing down, Germany backing down, the French backing down. Why? Because every single one of these leaders, use that term loosely, is absolutely afraid of having the same thing happen in their country as is happening in Canada. I mean, Joe Biden is applauding right now. For the first time in 13 months, he's not the laughing stock of the world. Justin Trudeau has taken that mantle and Joe has slipped down to second. Okay, don't worry, okay? It won't take long before Joe to get the mantle back. That's not a problem. But here in the States, the Democrats are panicking. They see Biden's approval going down, 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 and there's nothing they can do about it. I mean, you have representatives and senators disassociating themselves with Biden. They don't want anything to do with him in their reelection campaign. The silly part about it is a lot of them are hitching their wagon to Hillary Clinton, which that's suicide in itself. But they are all afraid. I mean, everybody knows what's going to happen in November. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that the Democrats are going to get thrown on their ass. I mean, they're doing their best to gerrymander any of these House seats to see if they can possibly save something there, and every one of them's getting tossed in court going, sorry, you're not making some goofy district or whatever, so you can put the Jones and the Smiths on this street in your district, but the Rogers and the Thompsons aren't. I mean, that's how bad they're doing it. I mean, somebody made a comment in one of the videos the other day. Take a look at Sheila Jackson Lee's district down in Texas around Houston, and I mean, it's literally loops around. So they could grab as many Democrats as they could. I mean, it's just freaking ridiculous. But this is what they're trying to do because they know they're going to get killed. And as soon as you see this trucker convoy, still big if, start in California and head out to Texas, and I know people asked about it last night, do you see it happening at the Super Bowl like people have talked about? And as funny as it would be to watch that, it's in California, so a lot of truckers can't even go because their trucks aren't legal in California. So, unfortunately, the Super Bowl's not in Nashville or something like that this year. But none of these politicians, congressmen, senators, God knows certainly the Biden administration, wants this to come to the states. Because if it does, it's going to blow up everything. Yeah, they're going to have no choice but to basically bring Fauci out with his head on a stick. That's about the only way that you're going to get anything accomplished in the United States if this starts. Now, where do we go from here? Well, the scary part on this is, sure, this gets back to reality a little bit. Okay, there is no going back to normal. So now we're going to look at what the new normal is. And unfortunately, what I saw today with new numbers coming out, and I'm not talking about the 10-year or anything like that, I'm talking about Americans adding debt to their pocket. Okay. Right now, y'all know that the United States is now $30 trillion, the official number, in debt, which is about $90,000 per person in the country. The household debt in the United States has now eclipsed $15 trillion. So add that, and that's another $45,000 per taxpayer or per person, okay? So that means in order to get the country completely out of debt, the country and the individuals, each person in this country would have to come up with $135,000. Right. How do you want that? 10s or 20s? Sure as hell ain't in my budget. But this is the scary part, and this is what inflation's doing to us, and this is why I say that Biden's terrified of this, is credit card debt is up. Mortgages, car payments, okay, we understand why people are trying to buy houses, car payments, price of cars went up, 15% or something. I think new cars were up 10%, and used cars were up 25% or something like that. But now that interest rates are going up, prices are going up, what do we have happening? People are trying to feed themselves by putting groceries on a credit card. Guys, that is a recipe for disaster. That is 2008, 2009 again. Okay, that was the housing crisis. Now take it as a housing crisis, automobile, credit card crisis. That is a complete financial catastrophe. I know I've said, and so has everybody else a million times, get out of debt as fast as you can. And I think most people are doing it. Many have emailed me and said, we paid off our house, we paid off our cars, whatever, we're good, everything like that. Wonderful. Please, 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 please do not take on more debt. Those people that are taking on the debt are going to be the people I talked about in this morning's video. The Democrats have no plan to fix that. Honestly, I don't think the Republicans have a plan either. But somebody's got to come up with a plan to cover this inflation, because January numbers are supposed to be worse, more than 7%, guys, when this comes out. All right, I'm back to working in the garden. More concrete blocks. We'll see y'all later. Pinball out.